What have I been watching this month in June? Why should you even care what I've been watching this month in June? Well, there was some belters, and I'm not just talking about the football that started. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Welcome to another video. This is a brand new one for this channel. This is called Film and TV Monthly Roundup. I've been wanting to do this video for ages now because a lot of people do say to me, Carl, what have you been watching, or what movies have you been watching this month? I know a lot of other YouTubers do similar things, so I had a chat to a YouTuber called Jordan on his channel Movie Worm. Make sure you do check out the Movie Worm channel. I'll leave his link below in the description. He's absolutely brilliant. So I've been chatting to him and he said, Carl, he said, you've got to just go for it. So I've gone with it. The next thing after making a video is trying to come up with a name, what to call the actual video. He said, why don't you call it something like, I don't know, Roundup, for instance. That is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Jordan. I've gone with Roundup, but I stuck Film and TV before that, so it's now called Film and TV Monthly Roundup for June. Guys, get involved in them comments down below. What have you guys been watching in June? Anything worth watching? Put in them comments down below. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe as well. Now, I do all my videos from my head. Probably, admittedly, not the best thing to do because I know I have in past videos made mistakes, but I am still learning. But for this video, it's impossible to try and remember what I've watched in the whole of June. You wouldn't believe actually how much you actually do watch. So for this video, I've got help with my laptop, so I will be looking down occasionally, so apologies for that, but I just cannot remember what I've actually watched at the beginning of June. And to try and put it all in order for you guys as well. So, like I say, I will be looking down. Just worth mentioning, I know I've actually called it Film and TV Monthly Roundup. Obviously, film means film, but when I say TV, it's anything to do with TV, depending where you live. Here in the UK we call them series. If you live in the States they call them seasons. So it's any series or any seasons or anything to do with TV. Right, let's rewind all the way back to the beginning of June. The first movie I watched in June was a movie starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, Bad Boys for Life. These guys have still got it. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, they work so well together. They've still got the chemistry. I'm going to get slated here. I just didn't think Bad Boys for Life was as good as the first two Bad Boys. Obviously, you can't beat Bad Boys. That was the best film. Bad Boys 2, yes, I know it's got a 10-15 minute car chase in it, but I just love car chases. Bad Boys for Life, I don't know, I just found myself losing interest about 3/4 of the way through the film. Maybe I was just tired from work. I need to get it back from my dad because I've lent it to him. I need to get it back, rewatch it, and hopefully I'll change my mind. Like I say, I don't know. I just didn't think it was as good as the first two movies. Okay, moving on to my next movie I watched in June. Right, okay, next week I have a Jean-Claude Van Damme special coming, so I'm just going to whiz through these movies because I don't want to keep going on about Jean-Claude Van Damme when I'm going to talk about him next week. My next movie I watched in June was a movie called 1995. It was Sudden Death. Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's an ex-fireman and he has to try and save his family and also the US Vice President at a hockey match from terrorists. It was a really good film. The next movie I watched was a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, Bloodsport, and it was actually the first 18 movie I watched when I was a teenager. And it's about combat fighting in the hidden Hong Kong area. Moving on, like I say, I'm just going to whiz through these ones here. The next one I watched was the middle one, Jean-Claude Van Damme knockoff. Nowhere to Run is absolutely brilliant. Hard Target is good as well. But Knockoff I watched, and like I say, I'll be going more into that next week. It's about counterfeit jeans, and it's about micro bombs about the size of a watch battery. Don't tell Jean-Claude Van Damme, but honestly, it's probably one of the worst films I've ever seen. But like I say, I'll be going into that next week. Moving on, my last Jean-Claude Van Damme, like I said, I'm just catching up for next week, was A Universal Soldier. Really good film about two soldiers, Dolph Lundgren, Van Damme. They go to Vietnam, and one's good, one's bad. Obviously, Van Damme's the good guy, and like I say, That was a really good film. I'll be talking about that next week. The next thing I watched in June is a particular franchise that is now in its second season and doing very well. If you're a fan of the original Karate Kid movies from the 80s, you're going to love this. Yes, of course it is Cobra Kai. It pretty much stars the same cast as the original movies back in the 80s. Obviously everyone is grown up. Daniel LaRusso is a very successful car salesman selling Mercedes cars. He's got a wife, he's got children, he's very successful. Then all of a sudden Johnny Lawrence turns up and decides to open up a dojo. And what does he call it? He calls it Cobra Kai. The thing with this season is it's going to have you eventually picking sides. Are you like me, a Miyagi-Do, or are you Cobra Kai?
Who is it?
Bonsai! Daniel LaRusso here for LaRusso Auto. We are chopping prices on all of our inventory. Johnny? I knew it was you. This is Johnny Lawrence. He and I go way back.
Very, very good. Honestly, if you're a fan of those original movies back in the 80s, you're going to love this. Just a little bit of news on Cobra Kai. We've just heard that Cobra Kai is coming to Netflix. Both seasons, season 1 and 2, and also season 3 is coming to Netflix as well. So that is really good stuff. Right, moving on. What else did I watch? Another one I watched, I did a review for this. It was on BBC Two here in the UK, and it's called The First Team. Do check out that review. I'm not going to go too much into it. The next thing we watched was a movie on Netflix called I, Tania. Now, I wasn't too sure about I, Tania at first, but my wife wanted to watch it, and it was a really good watch. I'm so pleased I did watch it. The movie stars Margot Robbie, Sebastian Stan. It was directed by Craig Gillespie.
America. They want someone to love. But they want someone to hate. And the haters always say, Tania, tell the truth. There's no such thing as truth.
After that, we wanted an easy watch, so we went over to Netflix and we watched an animated movie called Duck Duck Goose. It's really good, great for kids. Duck Duck Goose is about a goose that takes 2 ducklings under his wing. Really good watch. After that, we watched an old movie that I saw at the cinema, Girl on a Train, and this stars Emily Blunt, and she plays a woman called Rachel Watson who witnesses something on the way home on the train. Next, we watched a horror movie from 2011 called Quarantine 2, The Terminal. We watched Quarantine back in May. It was a really good film. It was in this block of apartment where this disease got out, and it was all in lockdown in this apartment. It was a good film. It was done with a camcorder. Didn't have a very good ending, but we decided to watch Quarantine 2. This is done on an aeroplane, and then they go into a terminal at the airport where it all goes under lockdown. You'll see him looking on the news on the internet, and it's got like the apartment that's locked down from the first movie. So it sort of all interacts. It was actually quite a good film.
Mobile Command, this is Recon 1. We're going in. Mobile, we have multiple confirmed dead.
What's going on?
I don't know. Some apartment building in LA. It's good we're flying away.
Sir? 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 You're gonna have to stay still, okay?
After that, we went over to Netflix and we decided to watch a movie. This was my choice, and it was called Girl on the Third Floor. Absolutely awful film. Probably, like I say, apologies if you guys have watched Girl on the Third Floor and you really do like it. Me personally, I just thought it was silly. And this is about a ghost that lives in the walls of this house that this couple's just bought. The guy's doing it up before his wife arrives. And there's a girl living in the walls, and, you know, she does all sorts of different things, and I didn't think it was that good, to be honest, but like I say, avoid it if you can, but apologies if you do like it. It's only my personal opinion. Next, we watched a horror movie from 1998, Halloween H2O. We saw this at the cinema, and it stars Josh Hartnett and Jamie Lee Curtis, and it was directed by Steve Miner. Now, going back in the 80s, I was a big Freddy Krueger fan. I know a lot of people think that his movies are silly but you have to realise dreams are silly and he comes out in dreams. But, like I say, I'm a big Freddy fan, but I'm not so sure now. I'm going towards Michael Myers now as my favourite horror villain, because it's not so much him in person, but when you're watching a movie, you'll see the car pull up in the background. Or you'll be in the house and you'll see Jamie Lee Curtis, but you'll see Michael Myers walk past in the background. It's them sort of shots that are actually getting me and actually freaking me out. I don't know whether it's an age thing or what, but like I say, I'm actually starting to think that Halloween is my favourite film. Now, after watching this film, I've forgotten what the ending was like, and cover your ears if you haven't seen this movie or are about to watch this movie, because you ready covering? Because Jamie Lee Curtis cuts Michael Myers' head clean off, and then it ends and his head rolls down a hill and it finishes. And I'm thinking, how have they done Halloween Resurrection and also the new Michael Myers film, and obviously you got a couple more coming out as well. And I'm thinking, how have they done that? So it really did make me want to watch Halloween Resurrection, which I have watched. I watched it last night. I'll be going into that soon. After all that, we decided to watch a comedy, so we decided to go for Hot Fuzz. There you go, in the middle there. It stars Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. These two work so great together. Simon Pegg, he plays a London Met officer, Nicholas Angel, who gets transferred or is promoted to a sleepy town in Sanford. But they have a dark secret. Really good film if you guys are planning to watch that. After that, we went back to the horror movies from 1999. Decided to watch The Blair Witch Project. I actually watched this with my daughter. Now, it freaked me out at the cinema. She wasn't scared at all. She thought it wasn't that great. I must admit, it wasn't as good first time round as seeing it at the cinema, but like I say, time goes on, it just hasn't got as scary. Next, we watched a British series on Netflix called White Lines. Now, I thought with a title called White Lines, it's just going to be all about drugs. Yes, there was a little bit of drugs in there, but it's more about a man's body being discovered on the island of Ibiza. The sister then travels to Ibiza looking for answers.
We haven't yet established that this body is your brother.
It's him.
Where are you going?
To Ibiza.
So it's a really good watch. We've got 2 or 3 episodes to go, so we will watch it by the end of June. And I really want to know what happened to the guy. The series stars Angela Griffin, Laura Haddock, and also Daniel Mays. Like I say, definitely worth the watch if you can get that. This June, we were meant to go to see Queen and Adam Lambert at the O2 here in the UK. I've never been to a gig before. I was looking so forward to it. My daughter was looking forward to it as well. It didn't happen because of coronavirus. It's all been put back a year now, so next June we will be going to see that. But this arrived on Netflix a few weeks ago, and it's Queen and Adam Lambert, The Show Must Go On story from 2019. It's an hour and 25 minutes, quite a long one. I didn't actually think it was going to be that long, but it's definitely worth the watch if you're a Queen fan, and like I say, it shows you, if you're Queen fans, and it shows you how Adam Lambert met up with Queen and how they got to where they are now, basically. And it's like I say, a really good watch if you're a Queen fan. Now, last night, I couldn't wait for this. It's from 2002. I had to watch it. I have seen this actually before, and it's Halloween Resurrection from 2002. The director was Rick Rosenthal. It stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Busta Rhymes, and I just had to watch it because, like I said earlier, cover your ears if you haven't seen H2O or this one. But I saw Michael Myers' head, after Jamie Lee Curtis cut it off, I saw Michael Myers' head roll down that hill. So how did he come back? I just could not remember how he come back. And how he came back? Jamie Lee Curtis cut the wrong guy's head off. And that's how they were able to bring Michael Myers back. Such a clever idea. This one I found a bit cheesy. It's more like Big Brother. It's basically a bunch of kids, I think it's 6 kids, stay in Michael Myers' house on Halloween, and it's like broadcasted all around the whole internet for a TV show live, and obviously Michael Myers is there.
Tomorrow night, you will enter the childhood home of our most brutal mass murderer.
The home has been rigged up with several cameras, but for the most part, the audience will see only what you see.
Are you sure they're not just putting us in some house with hidden cameras in the shower?
This is gonna be fun.
The windows will be boarded up and all the doors will be locked shut behind them. No one will be allowed to leave until the show is over.
Bit cheesy, not the best one around, but like I said, I just had to know how they brought Michael Myers back. Good news for Halloween fans. This year, Halloween Kills is still going ahead. It's still scheduled for 2020 in cinemas this October, which will be brilliant. Next year, next October, October 21, we have Halloween Ends. Have they saved the best to last? Is this the final Halloween film? What will happen to Michael Myers? Who knows? I can't wait for that. That should go ahead. Like I say, hopefully we will all get to the cinema to see Halloween Kills this October, and there'll be no delays. Fingers crossed. Guys, that's it for June. Like I say, monthly roundup for June. I worked out mathematically. I think that's 14 films, 3 series stroke seasons, and 1 documentary. So that's not bad for a start. Like I say, I'm going to carry on and see how this video goes, and I'll keep it going for a few months, and I'm just really enjoying it. Like I say, just see how it goes. Guys, put in them comments below. Get involved. What have you guys been watching this June? Anything worth me watching? Stick him in them comments. Please get involved. Also, check out Jordan's channel. I'll leave his link below in the description. Please remember to like and subscribe for more videos. Also, if you could share this video as well, that'd be absolutely amazing. It'd be fantastic to have you on board too. Until next Saturday, take care. Goodbye, everyone.